start of this season in League and Cup, leading at Newcastle. Similarly, Charlton hoping to win a fourth straight game in League and Cup. The beginning of this season, still 0-0 here at Spurs. Here's Alan Pardew.
Yeah, they've got a little bit more control now, Charlton. Just starting to settle down a little bit. I think the substitution of Jones has made a difference, actually. He's looked like he's brought some sort of stability to the team. They've had a couple of sort of forays into the Spurs half. You can't really call them attacks. We'll call them a foray for now.
But foray, beautifully pronounced as well. Here's Bergvall, the heart of the midfield. Winning a throw off Harvey Nibbs. Jones coming on, bringing that little bit of experience into the side. At the age of 30, appreciably the oldest player in the team tonight. He has scored in both of the league games this season, including a wonderful overhead kick, which isn't bad for a centre-half. Here's Tell into the feet of Gray. And back again. Now down towards Davis. Davis to Van Ecke. Plenty of space for Spurs when they try and bring it forward from centre-half, as they are doing now. Van Ecke with a long crossfield ball. Controlled on the right thigh of Matisse Tell. Behind him is Destiny Udogie. Fernandes showing for it on the edge of the penalty area. Just peels away. Tell with a clever little chip over the top. Udogie still got it, but the offside flag is up against him. And it's a free kick to Charlton. Just on the right-hand side of their box as we approach the midway stage of the first half. Night already beginning to fall here in North London. A cloudy evening. And it's still Spurs 0, Charlton 0 in a game that is really yet to get going.
It is, and I'm going to take my cap off to the Charlton fans who have come across South East London today. It's not an easy journey, by the way. And then there's like the whole end is Charlton. They haven't had much to shout about yet, but well done to them.
I think it's 5,500 that they brought, which
amazing.
Is fantastic support, as you say. They've got a throw here, which will be taken on the right-hand side. There would have been eyebrows raised when they saw the team selection. And when they played in the first round tie away at Cheltenham, which was the week before the league season started, it was easy for Nathan Jones, I think, to justify a week out from the next league game, playing his strongest possible side, and Charlton won that game very comfortably. But 10 changes tonight, and already forced into 2 substitutions because of injury at the back, with an impact injury for Sittenja and a muscular problem for Billy Cometio, who's the one player retained from the starting lineup from the 3 games so far. Ben Davis gets the ball back for Kinski. We've got more live football for you tomorrow, and again on the TalkSport network, a choice of listening. Carabao Cup second round concludes with Chelsea against Luton, which is a 7:30 kickoff here on TalkSport. News of Fulham, Wimbledon as well. Over on TalkSport 2, Brighton 0-0 with Tromsø after the first leg of their European tie. It's Mikey Moore bringing the ball forward, again linking up with Gray down the right-hand side, but it was a miss-hit cross that shanked away behind the goal, and out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Charlton's Tiernan Brooks. Be glad just to have had a feel of the ball. He's not had too much to do. 6 senior games in his career playing in cup ties. He really made his name in non-league football for Gateshead, but this is the first time that he's seen the light of day for Charlton. Third choice keeper behind Mannion and Okonkwo, and Thomas Kaminski's injury as well has given him a further opportunity. So I suppose fourth choice keeper really, but playing tonight. And 23 minutes in, he's had very little to do.
He has had very little to do. I'm looking down that right side of Spurs, which hasn't really combined well at all. Gray, the new captain, Bergvall sort of plays, right across there as a midfield player, and Mikey Moore. They're not really created anything. They've had situations, but nothing has come of it.
Now Uma can get it for Charlton, and Bergvall cynically leans into Apter, pushes him to the ground and gets the game's first yellow card. And Charlton have a free kick just right of centre, 12 yards outside the penalty area.
Yeah, I don't know why he's give that Bergvall. That's a stupid card to get. I mean, obviously the player is the wrong. He's not goal side of the player. The player's got a chance to run in the back 4, but there wasn't really any danger. It was a stupid challenge, really.
So Bergvall cautioned. And Charlton, who haven't been able to create anything from open play so far, might now be able to expose this Spurs back line, which itself has been extensively remodelled with this set piece. And Jones the man to watch here, and he's standing in a deliberately offside position at the moment, with Spurs having 7 defenders strewn across the edge of the penalty area. There's 6 in close quarters and a doggy on the other side of the box. 2 in the wall, spare man in the D. Nearly everybody forward for Charlton. Clipped in here, Van Ecke got his head to it. Heads it down towards the corner flag, and it will be shepherded over the line, then out for a corner, which is Charlton's first, and a big roar from the travelling Addict supporters as well.
Yeah, crumbs of comfort for that end. They got a corner, but Jones is a big lad, and when I look at this Spurs team, if you take Van Ecke and Solanke, there's not really a lot of height in the team, so I would suggest they're slightly vulnerable at set plays tonight.
Jones stands by the penalty spot. Simwe is there with him, and Bick on the edge of the 6-yard box. They've got a man right in front of Kinski. It's sent him with plenty of air underneath it, looking for Jones. It was just headed away from him. Recycled well by Greg Doherty, who gets it back on the edge of the area. Right-footed effort, cut across it, and Kinski dives to his left and beats it away. Best moment of the game.
Yeah, best moment. Doherty, I really like. He's the skipper, probably their best player. It's coming across him. He hasn't really got time for a touch, so he takes it first time. It's a great hit, a really great hit, and it forces a tremendous save. And we have another corner for the Addicts.
25 in. Second corner for Charlton Athletic on their right. It's worked short. And then a second cross comes in from Apter, which hit the nearest defender. Then another ball in is headed just wide by Jones. Going up for it, his head was in his hands. Both he and Asimwe in there to attack it, and I'm not sure that Kinski would have got there, diving away to his right. It was Asimwe that got the touch. He might just have had it covered, seeing the replay, but it was a close run thing, and Asimwe not too far away. Charlton with the 2 best chances so far.
Yeah, and as I said, at set plays they look slightly vulnerable. I mean, if I was Nathan, I would be really concentrating at half time on my set plays. Jones looks massive compared to Spurs. They didn't defend that well at all, really. It should have been 1-0.
Simwe, a player who hasn't even played for Charlton since November 2024. He was loaned to Wimbledon last season, where he had a successful spell, just the 1 senior goal in his career, but might have added to it there. 0-0. Charlton's best 3 or 4 minute spell by a long way. Spurs being urged forward. We'll be back around the grounds very shortly. Ben Davis plays it forward into the feet of Rodrigo Bentancur. Van Ecke. Now Van Ecke into the feet of the retreating Lucas Bergvall. Down towards Davis. Davis for the thick-set Fernandez, and back again for Van Ecke. Van Ecke's ball out to the Tottenham right-hand side, picked up by teenager Mikey Moore. Gray makes a run on the overlap for him. Moore comes back inside to feed Bentancur. Ben Davis urged to shoot as he comes forward. Might wish that he had, because he just tried to toe it into the feet of Fernandez and got it all wrong. Now Charlton can bring it away. Good strong play in the midfield by Mbik, but he very quickly lost it. And Bergvall now getting away from Nibs, works it out to the right. Here's Moore again for Spurs on the edge of the penalty area. Can he stand across up? He's whacked it in, and it's hit Doherty and goes out of play for Spurs' third corner. 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, Bentancur is, if ever you wanted to have a player who was considered to be a Wolves carrier, he would definitely be it. I mean, he doesn't really, for me, he doesn't do enough. And he got caught in possession there. Mbek, who's is highly regarded at Charlton, only a very young player, and he did really well there. He was unlucky.
6 in the penalty area for this latest Spurs corner, which is an away swing and misses them all. It clears Jones, but it is headed away from behind him. Spurs recycle it outside the penalty area with Moore finding Fernandez. Bentancur now takes a touch and then works it down towards Tell. Shown inside by Nibs, but he can't pass him, so he's forced just to come back out again to Fernandez with a more direct ball into the feet of the edge of the area. Solanke with a shot, that one blocked. Fernandez stabs it towards goal, and Brooks has done well to get down late and just tip it round the post. Corner.
Yeah, decent little spell that for Spurs. You want him to go and take the fullback on the outside. he just come back inside. But the passes worked well, broke for Solanke, who took a snapshot, and it was blocked. Otherwise, it was looking and goal bound to me. And I think it was Mikey Moore got the last little finish there, and the goalie made a good save.
In comes this latest corner, headed away again from inside the Charlton box. Back out for a Doggy. Doggy down towards Tal. Tal has overrun that. Oh, he's just given a shove and he's ended up in the hoardings. His leg buckling into the hoarding behind the goal as he made his way forward. I think it was Danny McNamara who went with him shoulder to shoulder. Just that, let's say, eased him over the line, saw him coming, and that would have been a sore one.
Yeah, you know, like these digital screens now that we have all around the pitch, which are great for match day advertising and great for TV consumer. You know, it makes the pitch look great, but they are really hard. When you fall into them or break or you tumble into them like he did there, I mean, anything can happen. They're quite dangerous, actually, and there's a fall-off on Spurs pitch, so it kind of like feeds you into them balls, and until was fortunate there he didn't get something serious. Having said that, might wake him up.
Yeah, had no chance of putting the brakes on, did he? Well, it was deemed fair defended by McNamara. Doggy back to his keeper Kinski at the other end, whose left-footed clearance down towards the touchline is headed back by Danny McNamara, who made the move from Millwall to Charlton in the summer. Now Doggy has it again, under a little bit of pressure from Apter. Cleared by Davis towards halfway. Solanke chasing after it, but Jones can work it back for his goalkeeper Brooks. Let's go back round the ground, starting at St James's Park, where West Brom were leading the last time we heard from Graham Courtney.
Still like that. Newcastle 0, West Brom 1. Isaac Price in the 20th minute. Just one real chance for Newcastle since that goal. Nick Voltemada, he's desperate for a goal, by the way. It's not really working for him. Disjointed performance. He's had a header and he's put it straight at the keeper. Newcastle 0, West Brom 1. Valley
Parade next. Bradford Burnley, Mark Wilson.
Still Bradford 0, Burnley 0, but Burnley have had a couple of chances since you were last with us. Connor Roberts on the end of a great move, 15 yards out, smashed it goal bound. There was John McCracken to tip it over the crossbar. Been efforts from Amdouni as well. Ibu Toure had the one Bradford effort, well saved by Kudur. Bradford 0, Burnley 0.
Couple of minutes to go in that European tie, and Hearts are very nearly there. 2-1 up on the night, 4-3 up on aggregate. They've been down to 10 men for a long time, but they're nearly there away to Rapid Vienna, and that will put them through to the Conference League group stage. Spurs bring the ball forward here towards the edge of the penalty area. Another driven cross, really whacked in by Gray, and it's come off the nearest Charlton player and goes out for a throw that has been taken quickly. It will be a deep down in a moment, where Preston take on Everton in an 8 o'clock kickoff. It's Ben Davis, plays it to his left for a Doggy. The Doggy's ball in towards Tal. Strong challenge coming in on Tal from McNamara, and that is a foul. What's been happening in the first 15 minutes or so then? Add detail. Ian Dante.
Preston 0, Everton 0, 17 gone. Everton have had most of the ball, about 2/3 of it, but aren't really creating that many opportunities. Tyler Dibbling with a low left-footed drive from the edge of the area straight at Lee Nichols. At the other end just now, Delano Bergsaw getting Preston into the game for a first time with a really strong run downfield. As he got into the box, he tried to let fly, but his shot was blocked. Preston 0, Everton 0.
I put the mockers on it. Rapid Vienna 2, Hearts 2, 119th minute equaliser. Still a chance in a shootout, potentially, but it looks as though it is going to a shootout. Van Ecke getting the ball forward here towards Solanke, having his shirt pulled by Jones. Now inside the penalty area. Flicks the ball off to his right-hand side for Gray. Gray's got Van Ecke in support. It's 0-0 here on TalkSport. Getting to the byline, Spurs win another corner with Mikey Moore's delivery. Well blocked by Asimwe, who's been steady away on his return to the Charlton side tonight. First game for the club for 21 months. Seeding this corner, which is Spurs' 5th. That'll be taken over on the right-hand side. The first match ball went into the Charlton end and is being thrown around with great glee at the moment. There is a replacement one down on the quadrant right now. Ball swung in, heads going up for it, half cleared. Tell cuts across it and has sliced it way wide. 34 gone, 0-0. And Spurs really yet to get going.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching it, Jim, aren't we? Trying to sort of make something of it for Spurs, but there's not much to talk about, is there, really? They've been really poor. Tell down this left-hand side, for me, it's been Well, next to pointless. He doesn't look like he wants to take the full-back on. He hasn't contributed anything really in offensive manner. Mikey Moore down the other side, he's got down the outside and won a few corners, but he hasn't actually beat the man. You know, and when you think about a Premier League team, you want a little bit more than that from your two wide players.
Hendricks just come back from an offside position for Charlton and has given a free kick away. I mean, there are some youngsters in this Spurs side. You talked about a few of them. Nettel's only 21, Gray's 20, Moore's 19, Bergvall only 20 as well. But nevertheless, they're players with big reputation now, and most of them big transfer fees as well.
Yeah, Mikey Moore has had a full season at Rangers. You know, it doesn't matter your age. You know, you come in, you're in Spurs team now. This team, you know, it's got such a high profile. They've had two really poor finishes in the league. They spent a load of money. The product that's on the pitch tonight is very much the product that we see at Brentford, actually, on Saturday. And I think if I was the manager, I'll be very disappointed so far.
Here's a doggy controlling the ball inside the centre circle. I suppose the only saving grace would be, from De Zerbi's point of view, that if you have a look at what his strongest side might be at the end of the transfer window and compare it to this, there might not be too many similarities. But I mean, you really are clutching at straws if you're trying to make that point in Spurs defence, because it's just been another listless performance from them so far, where...
And you can almost sense it, Jim, going in the crowd. They're almost like, there's that feeling at this stadium again.
Yeah, it's flat, isn't it? Really, really flat. An atmosphere probably born of the fact that they've only won 2 of their last 18 home games in the Premier League. Ben Davies has got the ball now. The boos you can hear, because that ball that they were throwing around in the away end has been dropped by one of the Charlton fans, has ended up on the pitch and is having to be retrieved.
Particularly amusing.
Brooks, the young goalkeeper, is side footed it off the pitch. He would have been tempted to make a name for himself and just punt it straight back into the away end, but he didn't. Here's Ben Davies. We've got 8 minutes to go to half time. You would talk sport. Alan Pardew alongside me tonight here in North London, where it's 0-0 and largely chanceless so far. 2 half-decent chances for Charlton. One forcing a good save out of Kinski when Doherty whacked one towards the top right-hand corner, and then a Simwe headed wide from a set piece. Other than that, precious little really in terms of clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity created by both teams, and credit to Charlton that is the case. Ball play forward here. McNamara heads it away, but Tell takes a very quick throw. The doggy not on the same page as him, and as the ball is played back, the doggy's done well. It looked as though was going to be able to shepherd it away, and he couldn't, got caught. Charlton eventually survived as 2 Spurs crosses come inside the Addicts box, and they're both dealt with. But Uma's got away with that because he was very nearly embarrassed there by Destiny Udogie. Off to Newcastle in a moment as Bentancur rolls it forward. Solanke in the D, goes to ground, no foul. Charlton bring it away and then give it away. It's been a goal on Tyneside for Graham Courtney.
Equaliser, Jim. Newcastle 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Ball has been flung in from the right-hand flank, and on his debut, Bouzmana Touré from the Ivory Coast has got the ball at the back of the net. I think he got the final touch. It did come in, but I think it was just right place, right time on the touchline to give it that final nudge in. Equaliser here. There is commentary on TalkSport 2 with Sam Matterface and Lucy Ward of Newcastle 1, West Brom 1.
So the 2025 winners back on level terms, and that means that all 4 Carabao Cup ties at the moment are all square. Now we're hearing from Graham. Mateus Fernandes had a shot from the edge of the penalty area that was comfortably caught, and then Fernandes is fouled, and Nathan Jones ends up picking up a yellow card.
Yeah, I think he was protesting outside his box there and has copped a yellow. But Nathan's a lively character, you know. He's going to be in and around out that box. He's back on the edge again. Best moment for Spurs, because it come onto Fernandes on the edge of the box a moment ago on his right foot, and I really fancied him to score. Unfortunately, he probably caught it too well, and it went straight at the goalie, who made a comfortable save.
And Moore and Gray trying to combine down the Spurs right again, but Moore has run into a Simwe who clears. It has gone to penalties in that Rapid Vienna Hearts match. in the Conference League qualification tie. 2-2 on the night, 4-4 on aggregate, and that penalty shootout about to start. We'll keep you informed with how it goes for Hearts. Valiant effort for them. Spurs bring it forward again with Moore. Almost found Solanke, who's waiting on the edge of the 6-yard box. Last ditch defending from Charlton, good enough to be able to alleviate the threat. Now down by the corner flag over on the far touchline, trying to bring it away, and they've been able to do that. They've worked it out of harm's way, and it will be a Spurs throw.
Yeah, I mean, that is the pass of the night from Fernandez. He's threaded about 3 Charlton players, really smashed it in with power. Mikey Moore's on the run, he takes it first touch into the box. You're thinking, just shoot, and he's going to score, and he tries to square it, and unfortunately for Spurs it gets cut out. Good chance that though. Fernandez, outstanding pass.
Van Ecke to Ben Davis. Davis bringing the ball forward towards the edge of the area. Bergvall with a little layoff. The doggy to tell on the Spurs left. Now Doggy taking it on again, trying to get away from his man. Continues his run inside the penalty area, and it's well cleared by the covering Ivan Mesic. Goal at Deepdale for Ian Danta.
Preston 0, Everton 1. It's Tieno Barry on the mark. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall had the ball in the middle of the Preston half. A delicious diagonal ball, having the defender all at sea on the right-hand side of the box. Mikolenko stole in, squared it for Barry. Simple finish. Preston 0, Everton 1.
And the Premier League side ahead here as well. Mikey Moore picking up the ball on the right-hand side of the box, working it onto his left foot and hitting a rasping, rising drive into the roof of the net past Brooks. Mikey Moore with the goal, and Spurs' overriding emotion is one of relief.
Yeah, good little bit of play from Bentancur. He hit the pass out early to him, so he had time. The fullback's gone on the overlap, Gray, and he's just come inside Mikey Moore with his left foot and smashed it in the top corner. The goalie should do so much better though. Now I'm looking at the replay, I think it's actually gone through him. So fortunate really, he should save that. But it's a good hit and Spurs have the lead.
Yeah, Brooks beaten for pace. He put his hands up above his head, but the ball from Moore went through them. It's only his second Spurs goal. His previous one came in Europe in a comfortable win against Elfsborg back in January last year. And Mikey Moore on his return to the Tottenham starting lineup has broken the deadlock. Spurs leading Charlton by a goal to nil here on Talk Sport, and is that the cue for the floodgates to open. Moore again taking on and beating a Simwe. He's now got Bergvall making a run to his right and plays him in. The Swedish international doesn't hit a first time cross in. He's just stopped the ball. He's waiting for Moore to make a run for him. Pulls it back for the dark-haired Gray, who walks it towards the edge of the penalty area. Flick round the corner from Moore, and nobody had made the run he was anticipating. Two in a position to do so, but he's just chipped the ball straight to the ball boy behind Brooks's goal. 1-0, 2 minutes of the first half remain, probably 5 to be added because of the injuries to Sichenja and Cometio early in the match. Charlton with work to do now.
Well, you know, I'm just thinking of De Zerbi, because he would be absolutely relieved with that goal, because I got a fancy that probably would have been some boos there at half time if that goal hadn't gone in. So a bit of a gift from the Charlton goalkeeper really, but I'm pleased for Mikey Moore. You could see there's a little spring in his step since he scored the goal, and that's lovely to see. You know, he hasn't scored for a while, and you know, in a Tottenham shirt, always fantastic for him.
Solanke given a shove there as the ball was played down towards him. It was the combative Mesic who came across and made sure that Solanke couldn't get any further. And Mesic, who signed from Heracles in the Dutch Eredivisie, he played in a Dutch Cup semi-final in his time there. The Slovakian international who's making his full debut for the club tonight. One of these 10 changes that's been made. Started the night at left back, now playing at centre half. Lovely turn in the midfield by Mateus Fernandes. He's got the better of Uma, making his way towards the edge of the box. Here's Moore again. The angle was tight and it's deflected by Simwe over the bar and out for another corner.
Yeah, Simwe done a great block that, because that would have been a goal, I think. But Fernandes showing his class this last sort of 10 minutes. He's had the shot, he's had the pass, and there another great turn and hit
Corner number 6 works short. Bergvall trying to get a shot in, didn't get any purchase on it. Now a right-footed effort, he's put in by Solanke, and they've doubled the lead. 2 goals in 3 minutes. Solanke on the turn inside the box, found himself in space, drilled it low and hard in the bottom left-hand corner, and Spurs have probably got the job done before half-time. 2-0.
Yeah, it was not the best piece of defending from Charlton. It was bobbling around there. They should have cleared the lines, really. And it kind of just fell so nicely for Solanke. On his right foot, he's turned and just smashed it in the corner. So, here we are sitting with a 2-goal lead, Spurs, without actually really playing very well at all. It just goes to show you that the 10 changes that Charlton have made make it very, very difficult for any team to win. And there's moments like that where you have no cohesion in your group that you see a goal like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Uma not too sure where his fellow defenders were. The ball bounced inside the penalty area, he didn't attack it, and then it bounced away from him to Solanke, and it's 2-0. Well, Charlton trying to get on the front foot as we go into 6 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. Nibs on the Addict's right, can't get across inside the penalty area. Patel will try and bring it away. Well, one back by Apter, and then McNamara headed on by Apter. It will go out of play. Bentancur just stood his ground there as Nibs tried to make his way round him, and he's the latest to roll off this stickly cambered pitch straight into the advertising hoardings behind the goal.
Yeah, I think they should look at that, the chief executive here at Spurs, because that runoff doesn't look right, does it? It almost increases your acceleration into the boards. We've had 2 into the boards in the space of like 15 minutes.
And they're not forgiving at all. They don't.
No, I shouldn't call them boards really, because they're like, you know, metal screens.
Yeah, they've got absolutely no give to them. First yellow card shown to a Charlton player goes the way of Apter for a poor challenge. He's just got his hands outstretched as he looks at his manager. Hearts had the ball on the spot and an opportunity to win that penalty shootout, but they missed. Austin McKenty missing his penalty, but if the next one doesn't go in for Rapid, then Hearts are through. They've scored 4 of their 5. Rapid have got 3 of their 4 at the moment. Ben Davies, square to Van Ecke. Bentancur out to the Tottenham right-hand side for Gray. Gray into the feet of Moore. Moore coming off the right-hand touchline, just lending the ball back for Lucas Bergvall. He continued his run. He was desperate for the return ball, but didn't get it. Hearts have won that shootout.
Yay.
Rapid missed their 5th penalty as well. So Hearts have won, and that is a heroic victory for them. Matisse Tell inside the penalty area, pulling it back here. Doggy can't help it on round the corner to Bentancur. It's half clear, brought down then by Fernandez in the midfield, but only after the referee has given a free kick for a foul on Doherty, just on the edge of the D. What's Nathan Jones' train of thought at the moment, Alan?
His train of thought will be, we've done okay, but now we are 2-0 down. What are we going to do? I would suggest he's like trying to formulate a plan with his assistant about how to approach the second half, because, you know, when you've got a team of strangers, which they have, and you're 2-0 down, it could obviously turn into an embarrassment, and you definitely don't want that. So my gut feeling is he'll be making sure that it's a very, very resilient Charlton side in the second half, that it doesn't go gung-ho looking to get back straight away. Certainly the first 20 minutes, keep it really, really tight, and then go from there, see if you can get something towards the end. That would be my game plan if I was him.
2.5 minutes of the first half remaining here on TalkSport. Tottenham 2 up with 2 goals in 3 minutes from Moore and Solanke, and they're coming forward again with Mikey Moore, who's really hungry for it now. It's almost as if the weight of the world has been lifted off his shoulders with the goal.
Well, that happens, you know, to young players. They get a goal and, you know, suddenly, or they do a great moment and suddenly they're a different player. I hope that happens to Tell at some stage.
Might this be his moment? He's picked up the ball in the midfield. He's just hit a very safe and conservative pass to his right for Bentancur. Now it goes out towards Gray. Moore's got it again. Just be delighted to be back in a Spurs shirt, but to be having his name sung will have meant a lot to him. He's had some nice moments, particularly since the goal that broke the deadlock 3 minutes before half-time. The Spurs have added to it since. Here's Gray on the overlap as he won another corner. He has. It's going to be Tottenham's 7th of this first half, and it'll be taken with a minute of stoppage time remaining.
Yeah, they just don't quite combine at the right time, Gray and Moore. They've almost had some great moments, but almost everything has been blocked down that side. They're gaining corners out of it. And the player of the half, by some distance, Fernandes, right? Let me tell you, you can just tell he's a proper product, this kid, and he's going to be a massive success for Spurs. I can guarantee that from what I see at West Ham. But he's put a Tottenham shirt on tonight, and he looks terrific.
Now he's going to take this latest corner. Half a dozen in white, waiting for the delivery. Just cleared Van Ecke. Now, Charlton have been able to repel those set pieces pretty ably and efficiently so far. Another cross coming in now. Deep from Fernandes. So goalkeeper got caught underneath it. Just went through his hands, but he was able to gather it at the second attempt.
Oh.
And just bowled it out to his right-hand side for McNamara, who will lay it back inside his penalty area for Messick. But he nearly got caught there, Tiernan Brooks again.
How old is the goalie, Jim, did you say?
He 23.
He looks a little bit shaky to me. He's sort of got that kind of. It look, sometimes when a footballer, particularly goalies, they sort of look like they're really confident. He looks like he's got a bit of arrogance about him, but he's making so many nervous moments. It's just a facade, and I would be worried about him. I'd certainly be putting my arm around him at half time. Because he's going to have a really difficult second half being 2-0 down.
Well, it is appreciably the biggest game of his career. He's been beaten twice, once by Mikey Moore 3 minutes before the break. Dom Solanke then added another going into stoppage time. Charlton reshaped and hit by early injuries to Sichenja and Cometio, and they've got a stack of work to do, almost mission impossible already. At the break, Spurs 2, Charlton 0.
Still 1-0 to Everton here, still playing in the first half. This was an 8 o'clock kick-off half-time. Newcastle 1, West Brom 1 will be there shortly, and Bradford 0, Burnley 0 will be there shortly as well. In the Women's Champions League third qualifying round first leg, Chelsea 5-2 up on Real Sociedad. That's come from behind, and Hearts have made it into the Europa Conference League, but Spurs 2-0 up, look like they're in a commanding position to go through. Alan Pardew, you yourself said though a moment ago they've not played well at all. What are they doing wrong? I know they're 2-0 up, but what are they doing wrong in terms of how they're playing?
Well, particularly down this left-hand side, Adrian, it's coming out to tell. He's obviously, wants to come inside really. Charlton are forcing him down the line, and nothing's coming from that. There's no other overlap from the fullback down his side. So down the left side, it's just been nothing. On the right-hand side, as we've been saying, he's done well more down the right. He sort of looks positive. He's got his goal. But his combinations with Gray and Bergville, the timing has not been great. They've won a few corners, but not really created anything. The ball going into Solanke at times, you just want him to be a bit more individual, turn, do something, but he just plays it back into midfield. So there's a lot, offensively that looks short, and I think that's, where Spurs were the weekend, and the changes are going to come in that area. There's no doubt about that, and the signing suggests that. The good news, of course, is Fernandes for the West Ham, who's come out of West Ham. He's looked terrific. He's one of those players, and I love this type of play. He drills the pass into you. It's like a side foot with power. So, when he's going to pass it to you, you better be ready with your first touch, because he's coming at you rapid. He made an absolutely outstanding pass for Mikey Moore before his goal, where perhaps he should have scored the first time. But really, the 10 changes that Charlton have made have contributed to these 2 goals, because the goalie is at fault for the first goal. The second goal, they just didn't look right when it was messing around in their box, Charlton. They didn't clear the lines. Fell for Solanke. And it's 2-0, so they've got so much to do. But this Spurs team, if this Spurs team was playing a Premier League game, this particular team he's picking tonight, they get beat probably by every team in the Premier League, I would imagine. So he knows he's got a lot to do here, and he's learning some lessons about what certain players have got in the locker and what they haven't. And I suggest what he's viewing tonight is a lot of players who are going to be sitting on the bench.
Well, a lot of learning, and he's got to learn quickly as well. I'm also wondering if Charlton's best 11 might actually be in front in this game, given how badly you're saying Spurs are playing Fernandes aside. So might Nathan Jones be having some regrets?
Well, I think, as a manager, when you make these sort of changes, you can't have regrets. You've gone with it. You've got to live with it. I mean, he's got a job to do at half-time. He's already been booked because obviously he's frustrated. And some of that is his own doing. You're right. I think if Charlton's first team had played tonight, I think they would be, well, I wouldn't say they'd be leading this game, but they definitely wouldn't be 2-0 down.
Well, they had the two best chances at 0-0. Doherty, the captain,
yeah, they did.
Yep. Two quick-fire chances. Either could have gone in. So you're left wondering, aren't you? And I think Spurs fans, they'll be happy if they go through. They're happy with the half-time scoreline. But I would imagine the Spurs fans around you are kind of scratching their heads thinking, well, it's not going to be our best 11, but they've got to be able to function more fluently than this.
Yeah, yes and no. I think I was with a few Spurs fans on the travelling up here, and I think they're all waiting for the big hitters to come in and, see what this new investment is going to bring. Certainly, at the back, they look stronger. I think Van Hecker has had some moments tonight where he looks a class act. I think he's going to be a good signing for Spurs. As I say, Fernandes, you've got Mikey Moore, who might be in and around the squad. Will he get loaned out? I think these games make your mind up as a manager before the window closes. For me, when I'm looking at Mikey Moore, I'm thinking, well, how many games is he going to play for me? 6 to 10 maximum. Is it not better to loan him out and get another full season under his belt, as they did with Harry Kane, on 2 or 3 occasions? That's what I would do with him, because I think he's a talent, but I don't think he's ready for this first team yet for sort of 20-30 games. And if you're not looking at him, if you're not looking at a player to give you 20-30 games, then move them on or loan them out.
Spurs 2, Charlton 0, half-time. It's live on TalkSport. Let's find out the half-time situation at St James Park. TalkSport's Graham Courtney.
Well, it's Newcastle 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Bit of a scruffy game, actually, if I have to be totally honest with the whole thing. But early on, well, Newcastle really sort of flew out the blocks. Joe Willock had 2 or 3 chances early. And then we had a shot from Lewis Hall, and you can just get the impression he needs a confidence boost after conceding that penalty against Liverpool at the weekend. So early on, for about, the first 15-16 minutes, it was one-way traffic. But then you can just see what's going to happen, that as Newcastle are pushing forward, West Brom are going to try and catch them on the break. That's what happened. A little bit of a panic station from Newcastle, and Isaac Price actually won a free kick. I reckon he's about 25 yards out now. He's spotted at the Newcastle keeper, Ewan Dewan, was on his debut, by the way, was off his line, and all credit to Price. He's fired it into the bottom corner for his 3rd goal of the season. Well-worked goal. 10 minutes later, we then got the equaliser. Pacey run down by the right flank. That was the new signing, Amar Dedic. He looks good. He's got pace to burn. I think when the shot came in from him on the right, it was going to go in. But Bouzamana Touré, also on his debut, he's tapped it in. I think he was on the goal line. Scores on his debut, though. And then on the stroke of half-time, Jimmy J. Morgan, he should have put West Brom back in front. He's only 6 yards out. The ball has come in. He's got a clean header onto it. He's completely fluffed it. He's put it straight at the keeper. Should have done better. But good atmosphere here. Sold out as well here at St James's Park. 52,500. Should be an exciting second half, and you can follow it if you want to. It is on TalkSport 2 with Sam Matterface and Lucy Ward. They'll be giving you commentary on that. And so far, deadlock. It's Newcastle 1, West Brom 1.
Yeah, Touré, the goal scorer for Newcastle, 42 million. He's only 20. He's rapid. He's nicknamed the Smiling Tornado. All square in West Yorkshire as well at Valley Parade. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Bradford 0, Burnley 0, a half which Burnley looked very easy on the eye but lacked any real cutting edge. Tresor and Perez have had the freedom of Valley Parade down the Burnley left. They've forced a succession of corners, 10 of them in total, and despite 11 shots on goal, only 2 of them have been on target. The best falling to Connor Roberts 15 minutes in. Lovely move down the left. Roberts 15 yards out, fired a shot that McCracken did well to tip over the crossbar. At the other end, Bradford haven't had too many chances. They grew into it, attacking on the break as the half went on, but they did have the best chance of the game just before the break. It was good work from Beasley down the Bradford right, putting a lovely cross 6 yards out. Adam Phillips on his first start for the Bantams blasted over from 6 yards out with a goal at his mercy. It's there to be won. A big crowd, but a little bit subdued at the moment. It's Bradford 0, Burnley 0.
And Everton 1 up here. Ian Danta.
Approaching stoppage time, it is Preston 0, Everton 1. As Everton hit the post, it was Tyler Dibbling on the turn, just inside the area. Snapshot that hit the foot of the post. Not sure whether Nicol was beaten. Tieno Barry with 2 in 2. He's got the only goal of the game just after the 25-minute mark. But we just saw Preston break away. A crossfield pass got under the foot of Merlin Roll, and in behind him went Delano Bergzorg. He tried to lay it off to Leo Leroy at the edge of the area, but he blasted well over when well placed. Preston 0, Everton 1.
Ollie Watkins heading to Al Hilal, £51 million. Villa getting Nicholas Jackson from Chelsea. Gabby Agbonlahor will be drying his eyes on breakfast tomorrow morning from 6 alongside Ali McCoy. Second half coming next from Spurs, who lead Charlton 2-0 in the Carabao Cup, live on TalkSport.
From the first time they lose a
baby tooth. Look, Mum.
to the countless times they forget to mention their
ingredients for food tech tomorrow,
to the last time you hear that school was...
Yeah, all right.
Kids grow up fast. Luckily at Tesco, we have back-to-school uniform that grows with them, including everything they need like trousers and skirts with adjustable hems and waists. So you can focus less on the cost and more on all this. Tesco, every little helps. Available in the majority of larger stores and online.
It's 21 degrees right now. What a day. This is not office weather. Time for a TUI getaway. Swap long commutes for water shoots. Sitting by the fan for lounging on a catamaran. Sleepless nights for siestas in the sun. That's more like it. With flights from Manchester Airport. Your dream getaway is closer than you think. TUI. Atoll and NABTA protected. T's and C's apply.
Jamie Carragher.
Busy.
David Prutton.
Busy.
Gary Neville.
Very busy.
Micah Richards.
Getting his hair cut.
Of course he is. Kelly Cates.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Now busy.
So no one from Sky Sports can do this radio ad?
Yeah, but have you seen how many matches they've got this season? They're all just too busy.
Fine. I'll do it myself. Sky Sports have got 1,500 live matches this season. Search Get Sky Sports to find out more.
That's not bad, you know.
Do you reckon I could get on the telly?
Don't push it.
Well, there goes that dream.
Tomorrow afternoon from 4. TalkSport Drive.
On the road again. Dual-headed, quad-wheeled dialogue delivered at the speed of sport.
Football Town, here we come.
The nation's ultimate get-home sports machine.
TalkSport Drive. More sport to the gallon.
Tomorrow afternoon from 4. TalkSport Drive.
Back to Spurs shortly. Spurs 2, Charlton 0, half-time. Second half coming up live on TalkSport. The half-time whistle's gone here at Deepdale. Ian Danta.
Preston 0, Everton 1. David Moyes back on his old stomping ground. The Everton manager sees his side in front at the break. They had so much of the ball in the opening quarter of the game without really creating a great deal. But then Kiernan Dewsbury Hall picked up possession midway inside the Preston half, hit a lovely diagonal ball, and Paul Valentin, the Preston right back, got caught right underneath the pass. Vitaly Mikolenko stole in left-hand side of the area, squared it across the face of goal for Tieno Barry to make it 2-2 for him at the start of this season. Preston have had a couple of forays forward. Delano Bergzorg looking lively on the left-hand side. He laid one off for Leo Leroy late in the half that the new signing really should have done better with, but he blasted well over the top. But Everton dominating possession. I guess Paul Heckingbottom will say, well, it's probably a good thing that we're only 1-0 down at half-time. Preston 0, Everton 1.
We've got a goal at Newcastle. Early second half, Graham Courtney.
Newcastle in front for the first time. Newcastle 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. Harvey Barnes has just come on as a substitute, and he's replaced a Toure, who scored that opening goal for Newcastle in the opening 45 minutes. And Harvey Barnes has raced in, and he's finished it perfectly from close range. And to be honest, well, he couldn't really miss. But Harvey Barnes on as a substitute, his first touch, and he scored with it. Second half commentary with Sam Mataface and Lucy Ward over on TalkSport 4-2. Let's see if Newcastle can push on or whether West Brom can come back. Newcastle 2, West Bromwich Albion 1.
Still waiting for the teams to come out at Spurs. Spurs leading 2-0 elsewhere. In Spain, it's Jose Mourinho's first home game in charge of Real Madrid, back in charge of Real Madrid in La Liga. Trent Alexander-Arnold on the bench, Bernardo Silva, Canate, Dumfries all starting, Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinicius Jr. all starting as well. Mbappe put Real Madrid 1 up 5 minutes before the break. Real Sociedad have equalised 1-1 heading up to half-time. In the Women's Champions League third qualifying round first leg, Chelsea 5-2 winners over Real Sociedad at Wimbledon tonight. And Hearts knocked out of the Champions League qualifiers by Sturm Graz in July, smashed out of the Europa League by Benfica, Marco Silva's Benfica, earlier this month, but they've beaten Rapid Vienna on penalties 4-3 tonight. Bo Royce, the Hearts keeper, saving 2 of the Rapid Vienna penalties, and they make it through to the group stage of the Europa Conference League. Finally, some good news for Scottish football. Spurs 2, Charlton 0, live on TalkSport. Second half coming up. Here's Alan Pardew and Jim Proudfoot.
Adrian, thank you very much indeed. Yeah, Hearts conceding 17 goals in Europe before the group stages have even started, but they're there. And 15 minutes from the end of normal time tonight, that seemed highly inconceivable. Great result for them. The two teams are out here. Just waiting for the signal to get us back underway. Doesn't look as though there are any changes. So Spurs lining up Kinski in goal, Gray, Van Acker, Davison, Udogie, Bentancur and Bergval. Moore, the scorer of the first goal. Fernandez, head and shoulders the man of the match so far. And Tell, and then Solanke, the scorer of the second goal, playing up front. His first League Cup goal since he netted in the semi-final against Manchester United a couple of years ago. Charlton, Brooks in goal. It's a reshuffled back line after they lost Sichenja and Cometio to injury in the first half. Now McNamara, Jones, Messick and Asimwe, Doherty and Uma in midfield, Apter, Nibs and Ali and Umbik up front. We're back underway. Charlton in their change kit of all purple. They're kicking from right to left. Spurs attacking the big South Bank here in their white shirts, dark blue shorts. And it looks as though their impressive run is going to continue. Haven't been beaten at home in the second round of the League Cup since Swansea at White Hart Lane in 1978.
1978. Wow.
Which isn't bad, all things considered. They haven't played that many second round ties over the last 20 years because of their perennial qualification for Europe. Not in Europe this year, which is why they're here, but they're leading by 2-0. And almost certainly you would feel already into the third round draw. We'll bring you first news of that tonight on the Sports Bar. It is being made at around 10:15 or so. Spurs giving possession away, and Mbik, the promising youngster, trying to drive the ball forward, but his pass intended for Rob Apter was cut out, and Gray will work it back. Apter's actually swapped flanks. He started on the left hand side with Ali going out to the right in this second half for Charlton. Spurs in possession, bringing forward Ben Davis, winner of this competition with Swansea way back in the day. Now Van Acker can come forward. Mikey Moore in space to his right. Messick looking over his shoulder to see where he was. He's very quickly past him. He's still going inside the area. Still he goes. The angle's tight now, but he worked it through the 6-yard box. Only for Charlton to have enough bodies back and Apter to clear. We mentioned it in the first half. It's like a player unleashed with the confidence of the goal, and that was another example of it there. But ominously, he's stayed down injured, holding his knee in the Charlton penalty area after that run.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if he's injured, because that was messy. Like he come on the inside and then wiggled his way through about 3 or 4 of them. He's just getting to his feet now. I mean, he's, as you say, since the goal, he's been revitalised, like a different player. And he's back on his feet, and everybody's happy.
The Spurs will bring it forward through the midfield again with Archie Gray. Gray's ball down towards Moore. Play back towards Lucas Bergval. Now Van Acker. They're looking for a progressive pass through the midfield for Bentancur. Bergval has it again now. Moore with his socks not quite rolled down as far as Chris Waddle's used to be, but he's got a not dissimilar gait, the way that shirt outside of his shorts, not tucked in, is just waiting for the ball to come his way. And he's just showing Bergvall where he wants the ball to be played now. Instead, it was worked inside the penalty area and it's sliced away by Messick. And out for the first corner of the second half, which will be taken on the Spurs right. 3 minutes in to this second period, still Spurs 2, Charlton 0. On TalkSport, and here's Alan Pardew.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they mix the set plays up, because there'll be 5 or 6 in there and not one first contact Spurs. Fernandes' deliveries have been okay, just need a bit more presence in there. Maybe looking at Van Hecke maybe to get on the end of this one.
Well, he's the furthest forward of those waiting for it. Now takes a couple of steps back. It's hitting deeper, headed away by Jones. Back outside the penalty area for a right-footed effort from distance. Brooks has caught that from Tell. Tell caught it quite nicely, but he couldn't get the direction on it. It was straight down the middle of the goal, and Brooks was able to make the save. He's bowled the ball out now towards Messick. Messick into the feet of Apter. Back for the Slovakian international, Messick again. And then Brooks receiving the ball under pressure from Solanke. Just chipped it straight to touch.
Yeah, well, goal is at junior level. That back pass is a big part of their training program. He should do a lot better with that, really. Just kick that straight out of play.
Here's Gray playing it forward again, looking for Mikey Moore, who wins the throw. Don't forget, Ali McCoist back on breakfast tomorrow morning, joined by Gabby Agbolahor from 6 o'clock. And former Premier League manager Sean Dyche, as well as the former Spurs striker Mido, going to be amongst the guests tomorrow. That's TalkSport's breakfast tomorrow morning from 6 on TalkSport. It was great hearing Brian Robson this morning, who was on with Alan and Ali. Great listen. Fantastic words of wisdom from Brian Robson. Sean Dyche and Mido have got a big boost to fill tomorrow morning from 6 on TalkSport breakfast.
Old gravel voice, should be on. Brian Robson, Man United, Brian Robson.
Yes.
Yeah, I played against him. I had to man mark him 3 times, what a player that was. Wow. I literally was just hanging in there for 90 minutes as he terrorised me from start to finish.
The best you ever played against?
Him and Gaza, yeah. And, Gaza was different, but Brian Robson was so competitive, so kind of in your face. It was I always have him just slightly above Gaza.
Spurs bringing the ball away now, leading by 2-0. Gaza's old club on the front foot with possession at the back with Van Hecke. With TalkSport, be back around the grounds very shortly with the 7:45 kick-offs as Destiny Udogie can bring it forward. Udogie just given a slight shove off the ball there. The referee has given Spurs a free kick. Let's find out what's going on at St James's Park. Graham Courtney.
Well, it's still Newcastle leading by 2-1. I was expecting that Newcastle would then push on. But you know what? Yet again, just like we saw in the opening 45 minutes, it's all gone rather quiet. Only one chance since you were here, and that was Malik Chow, who's actually a bit of a hit and hope from the 18-yard line. So at the moment, second half commentary continuing on TalkSport 2 of Newcastle 2, West Brom 1.
Yeah, as Graham says, choice of listening tonight. If you've got the TalkSport app, it's very easy just to swipe left, swipe right, and hear the best of both games. Ball out of play for a throw to Charlton on the left-hand touchline. Gives us a chance to go to Valley Parade next on TalkSport. Mark Wilson.
Still Bradford 0, Burnley 0, but a much brighter second half. Burnley almost in, a couple of minutes in. Matt Pennington produced a stunning block to deny Mike Trezor, who's in on goal. We've just seen Armando Broja pull his shot wide of the target. At the other end, Will Swan being heavily involved. He went on a brilliant run. Phillips tried to set up the shot for Jackson. That was blocked, and then just a few minutes ago, Adam Phillips, 20-yarder, well saved by the debutant goalie Gregoire Couder. Game really opening up here. Bradford 0, Burnley 0.
Everton leading at Preston at half-time by a goal to nil. Cherno Barry's second of the season for Everton, who haven't gone out at this stage since 2001 when they lost to Palace on penalties, and that's a run that looks as though it's going to continue tonight. They'll be back out for the second half there shortly. Here in the 7:45 kick-off, Spurs leading 2-0. Gray turning neatly on halfway, trying to get the ball away from Apter, finding Moore. Moore has covered a lot of ground there. He's maintained possession well. He's got Bergvall in support, who nicks it back for Gray. Bentancur in space in the midfield, just helping it on its way further down the line. Out towards Mateus Fernandes. Hasn't been quite as influential at the start of this second half as yet. Tell coming in off the left flank for Spurs. Here's Archie Gray, 25 yards out, urged to shoot, couldn't get it into a position to do so, and Charlton will be able to clear and find Apter, and the challenge that comes in from Fernandes on Apter didn't look great, but there were no complaints at all from the Scottish winger for Charlton, and it's going to be a throw.
Well, I mean, that looked like a yellow card. He got that all wrong, Fernandes. You know, you could tell he was going to be late. And indeed he was, but he's got away with that.
No complaints at all from Apter. No complaints either from Nathan Jones, who picked up a yellow card in the first half, and discretion probably the better part of Valavert. Didn't want to talk himself into the book again, but looked a poor challenge. Gray down towards Moore. With TalkSport, 9 minutes into the second half here. Destiny Udogie coming forward. Oh, it's a poor pass. He had Tell to his left, and it was an easy ball to play, but he hit it probably slightly too swiftly, but he got the angle wrong, and it just rolled away from Tell.
So irritating, that's kind of just sloppy play. I hated that as a manager, you know, he's just got an easy pass there, and he's just lost concentration, not kind of, you know, been thorough with it. He's just lazy, he just pushed it out of play.
Well, Nottingham Forest were eliminated last night. But it could be that they are the only Premier League team not to be in the third round draw. Now, Chelsea and Fulham haven't played their ties yet. We'll hear how Chelsea get on together tomorrow. Sam Matterface with a call at Stamford Bridge. A 7:30 kickoff as they take on Luton Town at Stamford Bridge. And that's live on TalkSport. Fulham in action at home to Wimbledon tomorrow night, and so we'll bring you all the latest from that as well, as Spurs bring the ball forward again and win yet another corner, which will be taken over on the far touchline. The non-Premier League teams through: West Ham and Sheffield United, Wolves and Millwall, Lincoln, Middlesbrough and Norwich, all from the Championship making it through, and either Bradford or Burnley tonight will join them. With Barnsley, Leyton Orient, Reading, Peterborough and Fleetwood from Leagues 1 and 2 in the hat as well. Corner on the Spurs left. It's their 9th. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Still 2-0. 2 late goals in the first half from Moore and Solanke. Cross comes in. Van Ecke heading it down. Maybe hit an arm. Some of the Spurs fans thought so, but if it did hit Apter's arm, it was in McNamara's arm, I beg your pardon. It was in a natural position. And no claims from the Spurs players themselves. Charlton just able to stop the ball going out of play for a corner, but Moore seized upon the clearance, finds Bentancur, takes a step back to get Spurs on the front foot again with Udogie. Udogie to Fernandes, and Fernandes just plays a calm but cultured pass out to his right-hand side for Lucas Bergvall. 11 gone in the second half here on TalkSport, and it's still comfortable.
I actually think Spurs done better second half. They're moving the ball a little bit quicker. Tell looks like he's had, you know, words with the manager, and although they haven't really created a big chance, their play's been better.
Messick with a header away from a deep cross from the Spurs left. Tottenham coming again with the Udogie. Tell scampering to get himself back on side. And now receiving the ball in space. A chance to run at McNamara, and he's twisted in one way and then the other. Chips it up, more peeled away to the penalty spot. Good header away from Umo, and had a difficult first half. Now the ball comes down towards Bergvall. But Bergvall got a shot in, left-footed. It might actually have been Solanke that effected the block. It ricochets back outside the box. Bentancur feeding Moore. Moore rolling it forward. Bergvall across the edge of the 6 and cleared by Messick this time and out for a throw.
Yeah, as I was saying, they look a lot better, Spurs. And it's just the speed. Sometimes, you know, when you're watching a game and it gets a little bit lethargic, it's the speed of the ball. And the speed of the pass and the movement is just like up a massive level in the second half.
Tell can't find a way past Simwi. McNamara will clear. Tess Fernandes. And to his right hand side here for Archie Gray. Charlton gone to a back 5 for this second half, with a Simwi going out to right back. McNamara playing on the right of 3 centre halves, and he's involved here as the ball comes in. It was past him but knocked away by Jones and put behind for a corner that will be taken on the Spurs left hand side. That corner count now up into double figures.
Yeah, I mean, Jones been so important for Charlton, you know, since he come off the bench. He's intercepted so much, and he did that. He stopped a certain goal there as they broke down the left-hand side.
Corner taken short. Bergvall had a lot of ground to cover and get the ball through, and it was easily blocked. Spurs can bring it forward again, though. Mikey Moore, a cross that comes off and Bick and goes out of play. You would have wanted just a semblance of a chance tonight, Micah and Bick. He has run tirelessly. You can understand why he's so liked amongst those at Charlton. He's had 12 substitute appearances as a first-team player and did really well on loan at Colchester last season.
Yeah, he's a big lad. I mean, you know, he must be 14, 15 stone. He's a big, strong, looks like a super heavyweight as a striker. So I can imagine he's a handful to play against.
Moore down towards Bergvall. Bergvall to Ben Davis. Telling a doggy on the Spurs left. They don't try and combine on this occasion. They just work the ball back into a more central area again. Last time Tottenham played in round 2 of the League Cup, they did lose. It was a penalty shootout defeat in a London derby to Fulham back in 2023.
Better.
No sign they're going to lose this. It was Moore and Gray combining. And the cross that came in set up Tell for a scissor kick attempt, but again he couldn't get the ball past Brooks, who didn't really have to make a move to be able to gather it cleanly into his hands.
Yeah, Charlton really aren't offering anything at the moment. They need to get 3 or 4 passes and get their confidence back, because they look like they're going to just roll over here at the minute.
2 subs made already. Got the likes of Miles Leaburn on the bench. It'll be interesting to see how long it gets. Leaburn had got his chance in the starting lineup at West Ham at the weekend because of the injury to Matty Godden. Charlie Kelman's still out with a shoulder problem at the moment, although back in full training, and Charlton fans very keen to see Josh Edwards back. He's not played for the thick end of a year, but he's back involved in training and might only be a few days or weeks at most away from a comeback. Here comes Spurs, bring it forward again. Solanke trying to make the run for Van Ecke to feed it down the channel for him. Moore loses out to Doherty, and Charlton then can get it forward with Uma, but his ball out was a poor one. Straight to Van Ecke. Van Ecke to Bergvall, back for Davis. Davis just taking his time about things inside his own half, and knocks it forward again for Lucas Bergvall. Van Ecke's ball down towards Gray. Bentancur looking for Moore, can't find him. There's a little bit of action on the Spurs bench. They play the ball back towards Kinski, and then Bentancur can turn, just plays the way that he's facing. Nicky finds Van Ecke, who works it forward towards Gray. And Bentancur now, the referee takes evasive action, lets the ball roll between his legs, and Fernandez with that beautiful pass that Alan acknowledged there. And Spurs bring it forward with Tell. Now to a doggy inside the penalty area. Back away from Fernandez for Bergvall. And every time Fernandez gets it, there's almost an economy of effort, but such is his quality that doesn't have to break sweat in the same way, does he? Because he just sees everything so quickly.
It's just, you know, it's just weight of pass and precision that he offers.
He's helped the ball on here out towards the Tottenham left. He played just over an hour. 2-0 to Spurs. Bergvall passing up the chance. Van Ecke, ball forward in towards the edge of the penalty area. Fernandez just got caught on the top of the foot there. He's rolled and fallen inside the box. He's going to be okay, and he'll be able to come back on. Spurs are going to be making at least a triple change with Danso, Van der Ven and World Cup winner Pedro Porro about to be unleashed. 3 decent players to be able to bring off the bench. Davis back for Van Ecke. And Charlton with this back 5 really in survival mode, damage limitation mode. And they haven't allowed Spurs too many clear-cut opportunities in the second period, but they haven't come close really to creating one of their own. Tell coming in off that left flank again, always looking to cut inside. Asimwe alive to that, but he's done well this time to find Gray, and Brooks has saved with his left foot. Shot that was coming across the face of the goalkeeper into the bottom right-hand corner, and Brooks stuck his foot out and was able to kick it away. Now Tell will try and bring it forward. Players from both sides go down. Charlton clear their lines, and Bick is the Charlton player who's stayed down hurt. Play continues to go on around them. It was Solanke that earns the round of applause from the Spurs faithful for his industry, and picked it up almost in front of the two centre-halves there. Covered a lot of ground. Here comes Bergvall. Bergvall under pressure. Turns it back. Davis. Bentancur. Out towards Mikey Moore. Moore on the edge of the penalty area. Oh, it's a lovely little nutmeg of Messick, who's fouled him. And it's a free kick right on the right-hand edge of the penalty area.
Pleased for Mikey Moore. It's a lovely bit of skill again. Nutmegged him. Pushed it through his legs and went to go the other side, and the Charlton player just deliberately blocked him. Is exactly what I would have done. We've got the three changes here.
And the first man off is Van Ecker, who will be replaced by Mickey van der Ven. Destiny Udogie comes off for Pedro Porro, the World Cup winner. And a good ovation for him as he makes his way onto the field. Kevin Danso is going to be the third man of the quartet to come on, and Rodrigo Bentancur makes way. That's an interesting change with a centre-half coming on for a midfielder. Charlton are going to use this opportunity to make changes themselves. Miles Leaburn and Joe Rankin-Costello are the two players who are getting ready. In fact, their final change also was the Alan Mwamba come on. I think they're going to try and defend this set piece first, though, before they make their own. Triple change, are they? No, the number's board up now. So Mwamba coming on for Uma in the midfield. Alan Mwamba who made his league debut on Saturday. He came on for the last 25 minutes. He's another teenager and product of the Charlton Academy. Harvey Nibbs replaced by Leaburn. And Joe Rankin-Costello, the former Blackburn Rovers midfielder, is going to be the last man on. And he'll replace Milenik Ali. So changes aplenty for both teams. What you spotted out?
Savio looks like he's coming on.
He will be on at the next break. Pristine new number 17 shirt with his shortened name.
Rebranded.
Yeah, absolutely. We all need a rebrand.
Perhaps I should go for a rebrand.
Well, I say we all need a rebrand. You don't need a rebrand. But Pardinho, I think, would see you.
I've had that being past that one.
Yeah, have you?
Yeah, usually when I've fouled someone deliberately.
Spurs free kick. Savio will be on in a moment. Now the free kick to be taken just to the right-hand edge of the penalty area. Tottenham looking for a third. 25 minutes to go. Ball swung in to header towards goal. Brooks can't get there. And Spurs are 3-0 up. It's Kevin Danso, who's only been on the field 30 seconds. He's hurt himself in the act of scoring the goal, but he got on the end of a beautifully swung ball, fired in a header from 15 yards out. Danso with his first touch, and Spurs lead 3-0.
Yeah, he's really not happy, because although he scored a goal, he's taken a hell of a whack to his face, and he's to say he's non-celebrating would be an understatement. He looks like he's in a lot of pain, but their staff are on treating him. Good work, free kick actually, good ball in, and he come and met it with power. Big lad, isn't he? And keeper had no chance on that one.
Yeah, he's got a nick around his left eye. It is his first Spurs goal in his 52nd appearance for the club. He's just down receiving treatment away to our right-hand side. Let's go back to Deepdale. Preston against Everton. TalkSport's Ian Danter.
Nearly an hour gone. Still Preston 0. Everton 1. The chances keep on coming for Everton to extend that lead in the second half, but they're not taking it. Ndiaye with a cross from the left and a firm header from Barry, who scored the only goal of the game, wide of the post. Preston preparing a triple substitution. They're still in this game, the Lily Whites, approaching the hour mark, as the ball's turned in by Tieno Barry just as I'm talking. He gets a second, he gets Everton's second, Dewsbury hauling space down the left-hand side of the box, drove it across the face of goal, and keeper Nichols could only push it straight out to Tieno Barry, who just bundled it over the line in front of the 5,000 travelling Everton fans. Surely that's them through now. Preston 0, Everton 2.
So Everton 2 up there. Danso back on his feet, having received the treatment, makes his way down towards this near touchline. Goals from Moore, Solanke and Danso in a 25-minute spell either side of half-time. Spurs 3, Charlton 0. And the game is going to kick off again before Savio comes on for his Spurs debut. So here's Joe Rankin-Costello, one of the Charlton subs, to his left-hand side for Apter. Simwe back at left-back now. They're coming forward for Charlton into Spurs territory, where they've hardly seen possession in this second half. Not that they've seen too much of the ball at all. It's 80-20 in terms of possession in the game as a whole, but in the second period, Charlton have only had 14% of the ball. Rankin-Costello's got it. Danso still not on the field. He's got a new number 4 shirt on after some blood on the old one. And he's just waiting for the signal from the fourth official, Abigail Byrne, to come back on. Rankin-Costello with the crossfield ball for Charlton, which is picked up by Danny McNamara, the right back. He's pulled it back through the midfield. Apter now towards the edge of the D, trying to tiptoe his way through. Couldn't get past Van der Ven, who will take it under pressure out of the touchline and get it away from Doherty, but he can't play a good ball. And Charlton win it back. Mwamba to Apter. And now the Addicts bringing it forward again with Messick. Messick's ball slid through towards the edge of the penalty area. Power play here for Charlton with Danso off the field. Can they make the most of it? As Simwe with a cross in towards the edge of the penalty area that is cleared. Solanke will take a touch and try and bring it forward. Messick has done well to come and win it back for Charlton. At the moment, Spurs can't get out of their own half. The minute is up. Danso is allowed back on the field now and makes his way into the back line. Archie Gray pushing forward into midfield. That's how Spurs have reshuffled things, with Danso coming on for Bentancur. Ball inside the penalty area off the top of Kenvin Danso's head. Not quite as important a header as the one that he had a few moments ago to give Spurs a 3-0 lead. And the ball goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Spurs right, and now they will make their next change. And here is the big money signing, Savio. £85 million arrival from Manchester City. Didn't have a great spell at the Etihad, but they made a £50 million profit on him, and he's going to come on here for Dom Solanke. Chance for the Brazilian to relaunch his career in North London. The man that was Savinho is now Savio, and he's a Tottenham player. Let's go to St James's Park. Graham Courtney.
Penalty for West Bromwich Albion with quarter of an hour to go. It's going to be Isaac Price. He got the opening goal for West Brom. There was a penalty, a handball in the 18-yard area. Bobby Badley, the referee, spotted it. Up comes Price now, scores. Puts the ball to the right-hand side of Ewan Jew, the Newcastle United goalkeeper, and I've got no idea who's handled it. It's one of those where it's bedlam in the area, loads of players, but I think the ball is actually shot up and it's touched one of the Newcastle players' hands, obviously. So Isaac Price with their second goal. Do you know what? This one could go to penalties. 77 minutes on the clock. The remaining, 12-13 minutes. There will be commentary on that from Sam Manaface and Lucy Ward. It's all square. Newcastle 2, West Brom 2.
And all square as well. The last time we were at Valley Parade. Here's TalkSport's Mark Wilson.
Yeah, still Bradford 0, Burnley 0. Graham Alexander, the Bradford boss, went for it just after the hour mark through on Nerfil, Powell, Sarcevic and Connolly. And Bradford have been the better team in the second half. Efforts from Powell well saved, and Swan fired just wide. But at the other end, there's been a couple of good saves from McCracken as well to keep Burnley out. Burnley about to throw on some of their big guns, as well as Swan in on goal. Fires it straight at the keeper. All to play for you. Bradford 0, Burnley 0.
Pedro Porro with a great cutback from the right-hand side for Spurs. Tell might have made it 4, Alan Pardew.
Yeah, Porro and Sabo have come down this right-hand side. Is that an indication of where we're going with this Spurs team? They linked up very, very well there.
Charlton get it forward. Apter down towards the Simwe. 3-0 the score with 18 minutes to go. And Simwe off the left flank pulling it back. Mwamba, teenager, chipping it over the top Just trying to feather it over the shoulder of Kevin Danso. The Austrian comes across, knocks it out and finds Pedro Porro. And Danso's going to be able to play it forward again. Well, they've had some naughty moments in this competition. Spurs, remember a defeat at Grimsby to a goal from Jean-Paul Kamadimba Kalala. Put his name on everybody's lips back in 2005.
It didn't go in my memory bank, that one.
Charlton playing it forward. That's a good ball. Here's Miles Lieben. He's through. He's inside the penalty area and forces a decent save from Kinski, who stood his ground inside the 6-yard box. Charlton get a corner out of it, but Lieben will be frustrated that he couldn't beat him.
Sometimes with Van der Ven, he has that fantastic pace that gets him out of trouble. He was way out of position there. I don't know where he was, and then Lieben had a complete free runner on goal. That shouldn't happen really at this stage of the game. Good save by the keeper. Van der Ven in that recovery mode where he looked so quick, couldn't get the block in, but the keeper did enough to keep him out.
In comes this corner. Charlton's first of the second half. Looking for Mbik, it's cleared past him. Back out to Apter again on the Charlton right. Laid short. McNamara, the deepest of the Addicks outfield players, will take it on now and win another corner off the retreating Spurs defender. So Charlton's corner count goes up to 4. The corner taken short. Out of the penalty area for Apter. Left-footed ball clipped in. Lieben the target again. And it was a good header to get it away from him by Bergvall inside the 6-yard box. 3 corners now in quick succession.
Yeah, Kinski makes a strange decision there. I don't think he needed to come and get involved in that, but he did, and in doing so he gave away the corner because it come off his fist, I think.
Yeah, he did actually get there ahead of Bergvall. My apologies. Just to flick it away. Out for another corner. This one will be taken on the Charlton left. 15 to go. 3-1 the score. Ball delivered from the left flank. A deeper one this time. Looking for a Simwe, who very nearly got on the end of it. Mwamba picks it up on the edge of the penalty area, clipped it by Abdur Simwe with a header, and Kinski juggled it a little bit. He got down to his knees. It was the direction rather than the pace of the header that was going to cause problems, but he was able to make the save. And then Kinski whacks it forward upfield, and Savio gives a free kick away. Another goal at St James's Park for Graham Courtney.
Newcastle back in front. Newcastle 3, West Bromwich Albion 2, and with his second goal of the game, it's Harvey Barnes. Right place, right time. The ball has been fired in by one of the Newcastle big guns who's come on, Anthony Elanga, and Harvey Barnes has hammered it into the top corner. Newcastle back in front, remaining 8 or 9 minutes at second half commentary rather from Sam Matterface and Lucy Ward. Could go either way still. Newcastle 3, West Brom 2.
And Lieben is taking the ball forward for Charlton down towards the corner flag, and is maybe a little bit unlucky he didn't get a free kick. He was trying to get in between 2 Spurs players. He's been a handful since he's come on.
He definitely has, and first time I've seen him for a while. One of my ex-colleagues, Carl Lieburn's son, rave reviews at times last year, and nice to see him back in the starting lineup, albeit sub tonight, and he'll probably start on the weekend. Good since he's been on, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. They've got nearly 100 goals between them, father and son, for Charlton. The next one will be the 100th goal that the Lieben family have contributed to Charlton Athletic. 65 for Carl and 34 for Miles at the moment, who I'm sure will be pointing out to his dad that his have come at a slightly better rate.
Yeah.
Carl, and immensely popular. I mean, he's the epitome of a cult hero, isn't he, Carl Lieben, to the Charlton fans, and a wonderful man. Here come Spurs inside the penalty area. Oh, Savio coming to meet it, and it's just gone underneath his left foot as he tried to get a shot in on the edge of the 6-yard box. Spurs have it again with Pedro Porro. They're playing the ball back out of the right-hand side for Mateus Fernandes. 13 minutes to go here on Talk Sport. 3-0 for Spurs. Moore, who has had some really nice moments and scored a goal. Down towards Savio, who's overrun that and almost ended up with a face full of hoardings for his pains, but he managed to put the brakes on Ball's gone out of play for a goal kick. 12 to go. 3-0 Spurs. Bradford 0, Burnley 0. Newcastle 3, West Brom 2. And Preston 0, Everton 2. Spurs will make their final change. Matisse Tell coming off. And he's going to be replaced by 17-year-old Luca Williams-Barnett, who made his debut for the last 5 minutes against Doncaster in the League Cup last season. He's not seen the light of day for the first team since then. A left-sided player, can play at the back, can play as a winger. And he's come on as a straight swap here for Matisse Tell. Savio has possession. Williams-Barnett making his way into the middle. Savio goes to ground and the referee says goal kick. No foul. 3-0 with 12 minutes to go. Good to see Spurs being able to promote one of the impressive products of their academy into the first team. He's actually started in a central position here.
Yeah, he's got in the number 10 position, which is be a great lift for him to go and get that particular role. And you're welcome to the game, son. He just got smashed by a Charlton player. It's interesting, Sabo on this side, because for the life of me I can't see the fee and how a player can play so few games for Man City and get a 50 million uplift. That don't make any sense to me. But he's come on this right hand side. He made a good run actually internally, and that's what he's good at. He gets in the box for a wide player.
7 goals in 84 games in his Manchester City career for Savio. As the ball is played in towards the edge of the D, Charlton think they should have a free kick. Referee doesn't. And there's another goal at Deepdale and a match ball going home with Tierno Barry and Danta.
Certainly is. Preston 0, Everton 3. Barry's third of the game came from a breakaway that Everton made down their right-hand side. Brennan Johnson not long on as a substitute for his new club. Had all the time in the world to put it across the face of goal. So the combined yardage for the hat-trick, Jim, probably about 6 yards. Preston 0, Everton 3.
See, good work if you can get it.
Absolutely. He'll be framing it though. Don't worry about that. Hat-trick for Tierno Barry. Barry puts the sheen on the performance for Everton at Preston tonight. They're going through. Van der Ven just dropping back to supply a passing avenue for Kinski, who instead lays it out of the penalty area for Bergvall. And there are 10 minutes to go here. Spurs leading 3-0. Bergvall to his left-hand side, still all square at Valley Parade. Bradford against Burnley, 3 minutes away from going to penalties there. Newcastle, Spurs and Everton all going through. The draw follows on the sports bar, where we have reaction to all of the night's games, interviews with the headline makers and managers, and your reaction as well. 03717 223344. Rankin Costello just steers the ball away from Gray, and then Mwamba's done well to ride a subsequent challenge. His next touch a little bit heavy, but he's worked that to his advantage. Gets away from Bergvall, and Bick at the far post, if they can get it across to him. His run actually was really well covered by Porro, and across to the 6-yard box, misses everybody and goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, but actually just hesitated there. I think he thought he might be offside because he kind of held his run. If it had just gone at full pace, I think he would have scored. Good move by Charlton, and it just shows you at times you can get at this Spurs defence,
Everton running riot now. Ian Danta.
Preston 0, Everton 4. Brennan Johnson has his first Everton goal, set up by the man that's got the hat-trick. Tierno Barry picked it up edge of the area, flicked it to his right. Johnson ran onto it and smashed it home. Preston 0, Everton 4.
A great night for Everton. 6 goals this season without conceding one. Here's Savio. Welcome to Tottenham Hotspur. Brought it onto his left foot on the edge of the penalty area. Fires it low into the bottom right-hand corner. 10 minutes after coming on, he's got the biggest beaming smile in North London. Tottenham's new boy just shows that £85 million price tag is going to be no impediment to him. And he scored a debut goal to make it Spurs 4, Charlton 0.
Yeah, he kind of, when it come to him, you could just tell he was on a mission there. He's like, I'm going to make something happen here, and he just went at real full pace, danced his way inside 2 fullbacks, well, a fullback and a central midfield player. He's gone past them both, and then just smashed it. A real good hit into this near post. keeper had no chance. Celebration was great. All the talk he's going, all the talk about the fee probably. That's what he's talking about. There you go. Welcome to Spurs. That's a great lift for the club, because this club for 2 years, although they won the Europa League in the league, obviously been so disappointed. They're really looking for someone to give them something to really lean on. Down this right hand side, Sabo and Porro could be a handful.
Well, they spent £312 million. They've got Omar Marmoush to come. They're expecting that one's going to be confirmed tomorrow. It's a loan with a £60 million obligation to buy. I mean, Spurs have properly put their hands in their pockets this summer. There was long criticism for years that hasn't been the case. They've done it this time around. When you consider they brought in £139 million, it is an enormous net spend, particularly by Spurs standards. They need these big hitters to fire. And that's a moment that might just ignite Savio. Yeah,
this is the transfer window where a lot of wrongs are going to have to be put right, because the transfer windows prior to this have been poor. So this one has to be better.
Oh, it's a lovely ball from Savio on the turn for Porro. And Asimwe's able to block the cross. Maybe at some personal cost. He threw himself in there and the ball hit him amidships, but it's gone out of play for a corner, which will be taken on the Tottenham right-hand side. It's their 11th corner. 6 to go. 4-0 Spurs. Porro from the corner, which is taken short. Fernandez onto the edge of the area. Savio again onto his left foot. Can he do it again? Via deflection, he can! 2 in 2 minutes. And Spurs are 5 up. Savio has announced himself well and truly. 7 goals in 2 years at Manchester City. 2 goals in 12 minutes at Tottenham.
That was quite brilliant, actually. He gets the ball in the box. He fakes a shot. He puts 3 or 4 to bed. They all dive in to get a block. Pulled it again to the right. Put it back on his left foot. Very similar to the kind of first goal in terms of where he's hit it. But it gets a deflection, I think, this one, and goes in. But great bit of individual skill. Really great. First touch, second touch, puts someone to ground, comes inside, has 6 or 7 touches there. He's hit a Spurs player, actually, so he might not get credited with this. I'm not sure who it's hit, but it's a great bit of skill anyway.
It's going to end up being a Ben Davies goal.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
the captain's robbed him.
I think he's trying to get out of the way of it.
Yeah.
But it is flicked off Davies's knee and wrong-footed the goalkeeper.
I mean, what a start to your career. Wow. I mean, what an impact that is. Scored a goal. Well, scored 2 really. You don't count the deflection.
5-0 Spurs.
I did say it'll be 5. If they weren't careful, and they've not been careful.
Well, I'm not sure you're going to be right.
No. Yeah, still time.
4 minutes to go. Charlton have won a corner, and a few of the supporters in the away end have filed out. There's still plenty of red shirts there, but it's not the 5,500 there were early in the day.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're a Charlton fan and you come across from South East London all this way to this magnificent stadium, you'd want to see a stronger team, really. I think the line-up kind of suppressed them, didn't it? You know, because I think they would have been made a lot more noise tonight if they'd have had their first team here. I feel for them a little bit.
Well, they might have been able to capitalise on that poor Spurs start. Remember, they had 2 decent chances. Doherty forcing a presentable save out of Kinski, and then Asimwe heading wide. Both of those chances were still 0-0. Charlton looking for a consolation here. 5 down, and it's going to be a corner that will be taken on the Addicts left. Swung in very deep again. Kinski stays at home, and there is the consolation, and it's scored by Lloyd Jones, who's had a wonderful start to his season. That's 3 in 4 for him, and it's 5-1.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes I look at Kinski and he doesn't look the biggest goalkeeper. In my view, he should come and get that. That's, you know, it's going to the far post, but it's in his vicinity. And Jones, as you said, has been a real threat from the start of the season at set plays. I don't know if he must be 6'4", just by looking at him out there, but it's a monster leap. and Kingsley doesn't do himself favours, not just with a cross but with a save. It kind of goes through him, so not his greatest moment, but this has been a good night for Spurs. Mikey Moore's done brilliant. Savio's come on and announced his arrival. Him and Porro down this right side is a real lift to Spurs fans as they travel home to their homes this evening.
Yeah, Spurs now with Savio on the right. Over on the left-hand side is Moore. And they've got Williams-Barnett playing through the middle. Fernandez off him at the moment. So it's a real reshuffled Spurs side. I doubt we'll ever see this combination of Spurs players on the pitch at any one time ever again. But it's a good end to the night for them. Porro chipping it over the top. It's going to be brought down by Savio. Still hungry for more. Right hand side of the penalty area. Shown inside again. Onto his left foot. Sets it up. And a rising drive over the bar from Porro. Well, Spurs not that far away from making it 6.
Yeah, these two are enjoying themselves, aren't they? You can tell that they're immediately bonded. And they've had some great little interplay, even in this 12 minutes they've had. I think it's 12, 15 minutes, whatever it is. Been excellent.
5-1 Spurs lead. Roberto De Zerbi will certainly be feeling happier about life now ahead of a match against Newcastle. Saturday tea time. They got a Forest after that, and then Everton come here. Now they would have been under all kinds of pressure. If this hadn't gone their way tonight, then it doesn't really bear thinking about how much pressure Roberto De Zerbi and Spurs would have been under. But tonight, a comfortable win. It's finished at Valley Parade 0-0, so they're going to go to penalties. Bradford against Burnley, and that shootout coming up very shortly. Spurs have just got a player down hurt here, and it's Van der Ven.
Yeah, it's just a bang in the face. He'll be fine. But for De Zerbi, you're right. I mean, the team sheet that come across from Charlton must have given him a lift straight away, because he's starting 11. He knows it, obviously nowhere near his best starting 11, so he'd have been slightly nervous. But the team sheet at Charlton would have helped. And then, really and truly, he's had some highlights tonight. Mikey Moore's done terrific. Fernandez has had a debut and looked great. And also, obviously, Porro down this side with Savo is something, if I was a manager, I'd be licking my lips at that. They've looked like a combination that's played together for months.
Van der Ven leaves the field with a white tissue around his nose. Might make a decision with only 3 minutes of added time to play, that he can sit the rest of it out. Newcastle have won. They've beaten West Bromwich Albion. Graham Courtney.
Yes, they have. And it's a bit of a messy ending, actually, but it's finished Newcastle 3, West Bromwich Albion 2. And it was a simple case of Newcastle finally bringing on the big guns, and it worked as well, with particularly Harvey Barnes making the difference. But it was an impressive performance overall by Newcastle. They're finding their feet with that new look side. West Brom, tricky game for them coming up. They're at the Borough on Saturday. Finished here at St James's Park. Newcastle 3, West Bromwich Albion 2.
So Newcastle through, Everton coasting 4 up at Preston, Spurs coasting here. And Bradford against Burnley's gone to penalties, of which more in a moment. Spurs bringing it forward with Kevin Danso, who picked up a knock to the face in scoring his goal. Here's Pedro Porro, right hand side of the box, fallen over it. And it's gone straight out of play. Good little bit of billiards with the ball that was played forward. It knocked the other ball off the cone in front of the ball boy, and he didn't know which way to turn. Brooks to take a goal kick away to our right hand side. Van der Ven still off the field. They're still looking at it. We've got probably about a minute and a half, a minute 45 of playing time still to go.
I mean, you've got Lieberman and then back up the top of the pitch. They're two big lads. They're both centre-half Spurs. Have been cut on the eye tonight. They'll both be feeling the effects of having physical contact here tonight.
Lieberman doing well, just leaning back into Gray and turning it around the corner out of the right-hand side. Rankin Costello chasing after that. Neither he nor Doherty get there. Charlton actually win a throw through McNamara over on the far side. 5-1 to Spurs. The goals from Moore, Solanke, Danso, Savio and Davis, who just deflected a Savio effort in. Lloyd Jones with Charlton's consolation 5 minutes ago. They're looking for another one. Right-footed ball in from McNamara, and that's headed away by Van der Ven, who's joined the fray again. 30 seconds left. Doherty out to the Charlton right. McNamara, Doherty coming forward once more. Good body shape on the edge of the penalty area. Went for glory, but his left-footed shot hit Kevin Danso, and Spurs can bring it forward. A swift ball out towards the left-hand side might cause problems here. Savio trying to provide it, but Jones comes across and gets there ahead of Moore to deal with the threat.
Nearly. Just didn't have enough pace on that pass, otherwise Archie Moore was in.
Ball play forward again. And Kinski comes out to the edge of the penalty area to save it. That's the end of the game. Spurs started slowly, couple up before half-time, 3 more in the second half. Savio off the bench, really impressive. A much-changed Charlton team, well beaten. Spurs 5, Charlton 1.
Well, Alan Pardew, they got there in the end at Tottenham Hotspur. It was pretty lifeless the first half. They were 2 up. Going to come back to you and talk about Spurs going through. Newcastle are through as well. Everton are heading through. Bradford Burnley is going to penalties. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Zian Fleming has just taken the first from the spot for Burnley. Sent John McCracken the wrong way, so Burnley leading 1-0. Anthony Sarcevic steps up for Bradford, the man who scored the goal that got them promoted 2 years ago, and he blasts it into the top corner. No chance for Couder, the French debutant for Burnley, made a couple of good saves during the game. Bradford much better second half. They just couldn't break Burnley down. They went for it, they threw their star players on, and they really pushed Burnley all the way, but Burnley had a couple of late efforts. Josh Lauren, a fine effort that was well saved by McCracken. It's 1-1 here in the penalty shootout. Remember, Burnley, who beat Notts County in the last round and on penalties, and one of the penalty takers that night was Zeki Amdouni, and he now has the ball in front of the Kop end, packed here at Valley Parade. 20,000 in here tonight. Amdouni, short run up, and he's saved by the goalkeeper McCracken. It was a very, very nonchalant run-up from Amdouni. He put it to the keeper's left, and McCracken, with a first big break for Bradford, saves it. The Burnley players go to console Amdouni. He's had a mixed night, had a couple of good chances in the first half that he didn't take, and he is now missed from the spot. So it's advantage Bradford. In fact, could have hit the post. Keeper went the right way, but it didn't go in. Amdouni misses. And a chance here now for Bradford from the spot as they look to go in front here. And the keeper is sent the wrong way, and it's a fine penalty. Macaulay Gillespie gives Bradford the advantage here, much to the delight of this big crowd. Must say as well, nearly 5,000 Burnley fans. They're all on the far side here, and they are very, very worried at the moment as Jakob Brun-Larsen, who was sent on as a late sub for Burnley. They really did play their hand late. They've thrown the likes of Fleming and Brun-Larsen with about 10 minutes left. Burnley yet to win this season, and they are up against it here. Brun-Larsen on the spot then, in front of that Kop end that is packed. They're all on their feet trying to put him off. Another short run up, going to be a right-footed penalty kick here. McCracken waits and he saved it. McCracken saves for Bradford. Huge advantage now to the League One team. Brun-Larsen misses from the spot, went down the middle. Keeper got a good hand on it to beat it away. So it's another miss here, and this is a massive, massive chance. Ibu Toure is coming forward. He's had an outstanding game for Bradford at left back tonight, and he walks over towards the penalty spot here. Can Gregoire Couder, on his Burnley debut, get his side back into this one? 2-1 Bradford lead, but they've got this penalty to come, and that would put Burnley under real pressure. Ibu Toure left-footed, another short run-up. Keeper waits on his line in green. Can Couder get them back in it? No, Toure! Keeper went the right way, but Toure struck it well. And Burnley are on the precipice here, because should they miss this one, it'll be Bradford who will be through to round 3. And it's going to be another substitute, Marcus Edwards, who will come on. up towards the spot. It's a slow walk forward for him. John McCracken, with about 15,000 Bradford fans cheering him on here. They've hit the post from Anduni, and then McCracken made the save, and he's leaping up and down here. Edwards to keep Burnley in it. Waits on the edge of the area, moves forward, left-footed, and calmly sends the keeper the wrong way. We're not done just yet, but Bradford now, through Adam Phillips, have a chance to wrap things up here. And there's almost silence around Valley Parade here. It's 3-2 on penalties, but Burnley have missed 2 of their 4 so far. If this one goes in, then it'll be Bradford through to the 3rd round, and it's going to be Adam Phillips made his first start tonight for Bradford City. Did test out Kuder earlier with a shot from the edge of the area that Kuder managed to keep out. But if this goes in, there'll be pandemonium here at Valley Parade. He waits. The Bradford number 8 just takes a step to his left-hand side. They've been good so far from the spot. This to wrap it up. Phillips straight down the middle, and Bradford City are through to the 3rd round of the League Cup. Valley Parade celebrates. Burnley's wait for a win goes on, yet to win under their new boss. But it's celebrations all round here. This would be a tough place to come for some of the big boys in round 3. Bradford's unbeaten start to the season continues. They were perfect from the spot. Phillips drove the deciding penalty through Kuder and into the back of the net. Misses from Anduni. Amber and Larson. Costly for Burnley. They are out of the League Cup. It ends here. Bradford City 4, Burnley 2 on penalties.
Yeah, amazing. Bradford of League One go through. The draw will be on the Sports Bar a little bit later on. John McCracken, signed from Dundee, has had a brilliant season so far in the Bradford City goal. Maybe, just maybe, the new Scotland manager might want to take a look at the Bradford City goalkeeper. Who knows? But he's the hero of the shootout as Bradford make it through. And we're in injury time here at Deepdale. Ian Danta and Everton are cruising through to round 3.
Preston 0, Everton 4. We're in the first of those 2 minutes that the referee Tony Harrington has added on. The story of the night is really about Tieno Barry getting his first hat-trick for Everton. And you and I have just been doing a bit of research, and it's Everton's first hat-trick for 5 years, 10 months and 27 days. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, during Project Restart in September 2020, was the last Everton player to get a hat-trick. And I think you can go back even further, 2015, for the last time an Everton player scored 3 and assisted, because he assisted Brennan Johnson's goal for number 4. Took him a while to get going, Everton, and Preston were in it until just before the hour when Barry nicked his second. But it really has been largely one-way traffic in terms of possession and certainly chances. And Everton are, as you've suggested, Adrian, cruising through to the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. They're just passing the ball around at the back at the minute. Nathan Patterson guiding the ball back to James Tarkowski. Pickford, part of a strong Everton side tonight. They only made 3 changes from the weekend win over Crystal Palace, and the referee points to the centre spot. It's all over, and the 5,000 Everton fans to our left are all on their feet applauding a very professional performance from David Moyes' team. Moyes back on his old stomping ground where he cut his managerial teeth. Well, they cut Preston to ribbons time and time again tonight, and the Lily Whites just couldn't live with them. Barry with a hat-trick. Brennan Johnson getting involved as well with his first goal for the club following his move. It finished here at Deepdale. Preston 0, Everton 4.
Well, the good news is Everton are through. The bad news is they've gone out in round 3 and 4 of the last 5 seasons. But Everton make it through, and a big night for Tieno Barry, his first Everton hat-trick. And you're right, they're all very close in, but that's what they want from their striker. As for Preston, somebody said to me before the game, a Preston fan, they're sleepwalking into League One. And on the basis of tonight, all right, Everton picked a strong side. Preston gave it a go, but they really haven't got a lot of quality, especially now that Osmajic, their top scorer last season, has gone to Genoa. Ian, thank you very much. We'll get reaction from the managers during the Sports Bar a little bit later on. Charlie Austin and Jason Cundy hosting that. Get your calls in 03717 223344. We'll speak to Alan Pardew in a second, but Bradford 0, Burnley 0. Bradford win 4-2 on penalties. Newcastle 3, West Brom 2, a couple for Harvey Barnes after he came on. Spurs 5, Charlton 1. More to come on that in a moment. And here at Deepdale, Preston 0, Everton 4. Tierno Barry hat-trick and Brennan Johnson on the score sheet as well. Women's Champions League third qualifying